watching a production of Civic Center TV. Find our on-demand programming on civiccentertv.com and follow us at Civic Center TV on Twitter and Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, and thank you for joining us as you do all throughout your work week on cable, on Comcast, Channel 15, and on AT&T, Channel 99. You can also find us on the web in high definition on civiccentertv.com. In addition, we're also all across social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. And if you can't watch us, you're on the way to work, you got to drop your kids off at school, you're going about the town, we're always on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your favorite Greater West Bloomfield programming is simulcast on the Big 89. Looking at your weather report for this week, the first half of this week going to be unseasonably warm for the month of February, and then it's going to get even warmer later on. That begins today, your high 42, low of 27. Going to be sunny throughout the day, some partly sunny evening leading into a clear night into Tuesday, but most of the day we're going to see sunshine outside, nice change of pace. More of the same on Tuesday. 41 is the high, 28 is the low. Clear and partly sunny. A little bit of cloud cover from around 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., but then partly sunny to partly cloudy the rest of Tuesday afternoon and evening. That leads into a cloudy Wednesday. 43 is your high, 27 is the low. Not going to be as nice of a looking day outside, but the temperature is going to rise as we get into even more unseasonably warm weather later on in the week. Making headlines across the greater West Bloomfield area over the weekend, a special pet adoption event held at the Orchard Mall with Detroit Dog Rescue being the sponsoring group there. Dogs, puppies, and so much more to learn about. Our Dave Scott was out at that event. We'll hear from him in just a little while. We continue our celebration, and really the whole community continues its celebration of 50 years of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. What is this on your screen on civiccentertv.com? There's a big story behind that marquee, and we'll tell you about that as we continue to celebrate 50 years of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. This weekend, get yourself ready for a fun event again at the Orchard Mall, the 2024 Black Expo happening on Saturday. We'll tell you when that is going to be happening on Saturday, where you can attend, and what you'll experience at the Black Expo in 2024. I had a chance to be out at West Bloomfield High School last week Friday night as the West Bloomfield Lakers girls varsity basketball team continued their undefeated season. And while over the weekend they went 1-1, winning on Friday and losing to a team from Ohio at West Bloomfield High School on Saturday, this team is very close-knit, and that's really been the key to keeping them together in 2024 and helping them grow as a team that's made it to back-to-back state title games. We'll hear that entire story later on in the program. Sylvan Lake's game night is going to be on a brief hiatus to kick off the month of February. We'll tell you why that's happening, when they're coming back, and some special events happening at game night in Sylvan Lake in just a few weeks. Also coming up, we'll talk to Cindy Carson from West Bloomfield School District as they get ready for their middle school preview night. What you need to know, what you can learn later on this week at the middle school. Later on in the program, West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Steve Kaplan will join us. Tonight's a big night at West Bloomfield Town Hall. A special work session between West Bloomfield Township and West Bloomfield Parks will happen at 5 o'clock to cover a potentially massive project happening at the Town Hall complex. Find out what that is later on in the program. Plus, Oakland County is set to hold meetings about public transportation all throughout Oakland County this week as they wrap up their surveying for their smart bus system. We'll tell you where you can attend some of those meetings later on in the week. Plus, other stories from across Oakland County and, of course, right here in our four communities. Live, local, social. The Splash Live continues next on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a break and tune in to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join Tyler Kieft as he goes through headlines and events, updating you on the day-to-day happenings in Oakland County. Catch us live weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, and thank you for joining us and encourage you to always keep up to date with our programming, including when all your favorite shows and all your most important local municipal meetings are airing on a program schedule, civiccentertv.com. Over the weekend, a really fun event out at the Orchard Mall as prospective dog parents looking to bring dogs and puppies into their forever home at the Orchard Mall with Detroit Dog Rescue. We had Dave Scott out on scene to get the full story, the full scope of everything happening with DDR out there and all the fun that families in West Bloomfield and beyond had experienced. Let's go out to Dave.
Dave Scott, Civic Center TV in the sunshine at Orchard Mall, where the Detroit Dog Rescue is here today on site in West Bloomfield, trying to connect with homes and families and people that love dogs and maybe want to bring one of the wonderful dogs they brought out here into their home.
We are so lucky to partner with Orchard Mall and do adoption events here at the mall. We do them at least, probably about once a month here in West Bloomfield. And we get the dogs out. We have, students who need to do community service hours, or maybe they're doing mitzvah projects, come and help volunteer and bring dogs into the community that are adoptable.
So clearly you could be doing this at the rescue mission, but you're here in West Bloomfield. Why are events like this important?
It makes such a difference. Some people, they won't come to a shelter or they don't have time to come down to our shelter in Detroit. So getting them into the suburbs and making it accessible for people to visit our dogs and adopt is really important. I am a West Bloomfield resident, so I love being in my community and bringing dogs to West Bloomfield.
Well, we were here to donate a bunch of blankets and pillows. And as we were walking in, my husband said, "We're not adopting today." But then we really fell in love with the dog.
So, do you have a pet right now?
We do. We have a bulldog at home, and we also had a pit bull, but she passed away from cancer this summer. So.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that.
Thank
you. Really, when you get around these amazing animals, pretty hard not to just kind of get caught up in it, huh?
Oh, believe me, and I'm a dog lover, so yes.
So I have Gadet here with me. I've been fostering him since December. In December, he was abandoned in the alley behind the shelter. He was walking with what we have to assume is his owner. The owner picked him up, dropped him over the fence, turned around and left. And so Gadet was really scared when we first got him at the shelter. He wouldn't come out of his kennel for the first couple days. I broke him out, brought him home. I've been fostering him since, and now he's here up for adoption, and he is brave and confident and a perfect boy, so he's ready for a home.
We are very excited to be adding hope to our family. We already have a dog, Lulu, so now we will be 2 female dogs, 4 daughters, so my husband will be, adding another girl to the family for my husband to enjoy. I am a true believer of only rescuing animals. There's too many animals out there that need homes, and going to a pet store or a breeder just adds to the problem. So I think rescue is always the best bet.
Well, I could easily say it's important to get a dog from the shelter because rescue is absolutely the best breed. But really, there is a misconception that dogs in shelters are that they have behavior problems, or they're not purebred, or there's nothing good or nothing cute in a shelter. Detroit Dog Rescue works really, really hard to make sure we are placing safe and appropriate pets. We have a whole training and behavior program at Detroit Dog Rescue, but also if you look around, you'll see we have a purebred lab. We have adopters that came to visit, actually my dentist here in West Bloomfield, who adopted a doodle from Detroit Dog Rescue. We get German Shepherds, great puppies very often.
Well, there you have it. Some great stories from here at Orchard Mall. Why not support these guys? They're absolutely incredible. The work they do, Detroit Dog Rescue. You can see the address right there, www.detroitdogrescue.com. And it's good to know that they love the people here in West Bloomfield, have a lot of success here finding homes for dogs, and we certainly love the amazing four-legged friends that they've brought out here today. From Orchard Mall, I'm Dave Scott, Civic Center TV.
Appreciate it, Dave, and appreciate the work that Detroit Dog Rescue is doing across our communities. As Dave said, you can learn more information on the website, DetroitDogRescue.com. Also a good idea, as they do partner quite often with the Orchard Mall, to go ahead and give our friends over there a follow on Facebook at Orchard Mall. Live, local, social, it is The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, exploring 50 years and more of history with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, a special artifact from Keego Harbor, and a story behind that coming up, plus information on what you'll expect from this weekend's 2024 Black Expo. The Splash Live. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Ronnie started doing prescription pills at the age of 15, and by 19 he died. If your child is struggling with drug use, try not to be too proud to reach out for help. Don't be worried about what the neighbor will think or your family. Just get your child the help they need. Sometimes it's the hard road to take, but the hard road is nothing compared to living with the fact that your child is no longer with you.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
What people are watching in Keego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for being with us today as we continue our celebration all throughout the community in 2024. 50 years of service from the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. They just recently celebrated their 50th anniversary with their annual meeting and their dedication ceremony, celebrating the many volunteers that make their organization run year in and year out. We have that entire presentation for you on demand on civiccentertv.com, as well as a link on our homepage on our website on civiccentertv.com as well. Just these sliding images at the top of the screen, you'll see a Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society 50th anniversary page pop up. Click on that and it'll take you to the video on demand. They posted over the weekend a really cool picture of an artifact from Keego Harbor. What you're seeing here is a picture from Karen Mebrod, who had posted in the So Keego Facebook page a classic photo of the Kego Harbor Theater that was right in the heart of the downtown of Kego Harbor. This was a fixture of the community for a number of years, opening in 1940 and serving the community through the early aughts. Over 60 years of service. Of course, the theater had closed down. It was eventually demolished, and ultimately that marquee was no longer going to be in the heart of Kego Harbor. Instead, it is right smack in the heart of the Orchard Lake Museum on Orchard Lake Road and Long Lake Road in West Bloomfield, in the West Bloomfield and Orchard Lake area. So they have this on display in a special room right out. You can't miss it. It's right after you walk into the main entrance at the Orchard Lake Museum, and you can see this full marquee and other displays and other artifacts from across the community by visiting them in one of the many monthly open houses. They are open every month from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th Sundays of the month, as well as the 3rd Fridays from 1 to 4 p.m. You can always find more information on their open houses at gwbhs.org. That's also a great resource for researching history, for looking through their gallery to find more historical pictures from Kego Harbor, all of our Tri-Cities, and West Bloomfield Township. gwbhs.org for more information. We're making history this weekend at the Orchard Mall. The 2024 Black Expo is coming on Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Orchard Mall at the corner of Orchard Lake and Maple Road in West Bloomfield. This is all part of an effort by the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, a partnership between West Bloomfield Township's government as well as West Bloomfield Parks, the library, and community volunteers. We had a chance to talk to Sherry Ann Winter on a recent edition of the program about everything going on there. So if you want a ton of detail on that, we've got that full interview on demand on CivicCenterTV.com. Otherwise, here's what you got to know. It's free to attend. Anybody can come in and attend. There's no entrance fee. There's no fee for looking around and enjoying the festivities, music, dancing, fun, local businesses, plenty of people to talk to and learn more about the community, plus ways to get involved with the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force. If you'd like to learn more information, mark your calendars or figure out what exactly you want to see at this year's Black Expo among their 50-plus vendors. WBParks.org is the place to go. You can also go to their Facebook page and click on their event for the Black Expo at Facebook at WB Parks, sponsoring this event with their website and hosting also more information on the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force with events and initiatives all throughout the year. Again, WBParks.org for more information. Then take a break on the Splash Live, and on the other side, I had a chance to go out to West Bloomfield High School late last week to enjoy a basketball game with the then undefeated West Bloomfield High School girls varsity basketball team. They're looking to make their third consecutive trip to the MHSAA Division I state championship game, and something about this team in 2024 is very different. They are closer than they've ever been before, and we'll learn why next on the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us. Here at West Bloomfield High School, the West Bloomfield girls varsity basketball team is off to a hot start in 2024, and that's following up 2 consecutive trips to the MHSAA Division I state title game, including 1 championship season. But in 2024, despite being a little bit younger and having many new players join their team, this particular iteration of the Lakers may be stronger and closer than ever before. Spending most of her high school career on the varsity basketball team, Destiny Washington has experienced a lot of success at West Bloomfield High School, including 2 consecutive championship game appearances and hanging a championship banner. For her and sophomore Sheridan Beal, the 2024 team's 13-1 start has been as much about building a sisterhood as it has been about developing talent.
I think this team is the most together that it's ever been. It's really like a sisterhood on the team. Like, we all really enjoy each other, and it's really fun this year.
We have a very strong connection, and we're very much a tight-knit group. So we don't just like each other. Like, we honestly love each other, and I think that shows on the court with our chemistry and the way we play.
Building those bonds was neither a quick nor an easy task, but this team's leaders, including a rising star in Beal, just a sophomore, has seen a massive growth of trust this season following a tragic ending in 2023 where they lost in the Division I championship game to Rockford.
Losing last year, it kind of set a fire under us. It made us know that this is for real. We can't have any mess ups, and it made us really want it even more.
We, of course, want to go out with the win, but we also want our year to be fun. And it's a lot of pressure behind that, but it's also really just enjoying the moment and playing with them and knowing that this is it, and we're going to go out there and give each game our all.
The closeness of this team is no accident, according to head coach Darren McAllister, whose mantras in his first 3 seasons at the helm have moved from "I believe" to "together," and this season, "we will." With his team believing in each other and more together than ever before, Coach McAllister has a lot of praise for these girls as they pursue a 3rd consecutive trip to the Breslin Center.
I'm really excited about this team this year. I've been excited about the teams before, but this team is special because I've had these group of girls for 3 seasons, and they bought into the mindset of defense. They bought into the mindset of believing and trusting the coaching staff, and we trust and believe in them. And so far, it's been working.
With their unit more cohesive than ever, West Bloomfield's girls basketball team can focus on basketball, knowing that they are more than a team. They're family.
We just really like each other. So off the court, we're always together, always talking to each other. In school, constantly seeing each other, giving each other hugs. We're just a very tight group.
We have a few new people on the team, but they came in and it was kind of like we already knew them. Like, it was really family-like. So off the court, we're together, and then it just shows on the court that we also we're best friends.
The Lakers will continue this 4-game homestand both this week and next, and you can find a full listing of games on westbloomfieldathletics.com. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, more stories from across our 4 communities and more. Stay with us. The Splash Live will be right back on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Take a break and tune in to The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join Tyler Kieft as he goes through headlines and events, updating you on the day-to-day happenings in Oakland County. Catch us live weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. You can always find us on demand on civiccentertv.com, as well as links to our social media where we're broadcasting live on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube at Civic Center TV 5 days a week. In Sylvan Lake, everybody marks their calendars for Wednesday night game nights at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. They're usually every single Wednesday all throughout the month, but they're going to take a 2-week hiatus to kick off this month of February. Of course, it's the first full week of the month, and normally we'd have a Wednesday this week on the 7th would be a game night, but they're going to take the 7th off and the 14th off in order to accommodate some meetings that will be happening in that building. A zoning board of appeals meeting on Wednesday this week at the community center. Next week, of course, will be our live broadcasts of their planning commission and city council meetings on Civic Center TV and on civiccentertv.com. So 2-week hiatus, then game night comes back, and because it's their first game night of the month, they'll also have their monthly euchre tournament, 6:30 p.m. Mark your calendars, back Wednesday, February 21st at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. And of course, you can find more information on Sylvan Lake Game Night and other fun events happening through Parks and Rec and independent events throughout the city that everybody is invited to by visiting their calendar, sylvanlake.org. Game night back Wednesday, February 21st, mahjong, card games, board games, a euchre tournament, and more, all kicking off at 6:30. Just a week from today will be a special edition of a Sylvan Lake Veterans Coffee event. They typically hold these events at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. They're very small and intimate events with veterans from mostly within Sylvan Lake or nearby cities here in the greater West Bloomfield area. But this month, they're expanding that out. On February 12th, beginning at 10 a.m., they'll be at the Grill in Sylvan Lake, enjoying some free coffee on the house from our friends at the Grill, and then also some scratch-cooked breakfasts that you can purchase on that morning as well for some tasty food, some great coffee, and of course, great camaraderie and conversation with veterans, not only from the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan, but they're also really doing their part in Sylvan Lake to invite guests in from the Lakes area as well, veterans from across the Lakes area to attend this event. While you are open to attend without an RSVP, it is appreciated by the team at the Grill so that they can better understand how much food they may need to be ready to prepare, and of course how much coffee to prepare for veterans coming in, celebrating their service and getting to know each other next week Monday. If you need the RSVP, 313-575-2753. And of course, you can find more information on other upcoming Veterans Coffee events in Sylvan Lake on sylvanlake.org. Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Coming up later on this week is a big event at West Bloomfield Middle School as parents from elementaries all across the West Bloomfield School District prepare to come together next year beginning in the fall. Cindy Carson from the West Bloomfield School District will join us next as they get ready for West Bloomfield Middle School's preview night. The Splash Live. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. What people are watching in Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, and thank you for joining us all throughout your work week for the latest information all across our 4 communities. As we get ready for the second half of the school year, and we're right now in the thick of the second semester of the West Bloomfield School District's school academic year in 2024, it's time for parents, particularly at the elementary school level, to prepare themselves to move their kids on to the next level, where our 6 and soon 5 elementary schools in West Bloomfield will all come together for the first time at West Bloomfield Middle School. To help them ease that transition, the school district is holding a middle school informational night. That's Wednesday this week at 6:30 p.m. at West Bloomfield Middle School. You'll have a chance to get even more information on making that transition through K through 5 to 6 through 8. An expert on this is Cindy Carson, assistant principal at West Bloomfield Middle School, who joins us now on The Splash Live. Cindy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, glad to have you on as we get ready for this Wednesday night event at the middle school, helping parents and kids get ready for a big transition between elementary school and middle school. It's a big step for any kid, but particularly in the West Bloomfield School District, it's the first time these kids are really coming together all as official classmates in one location. So what are some of the keys that you and your team at the middle school are looking to cover on Wednesday night to help these families get ready to make that jump to middle school?
Sure. And as you said, we really want to ease that transition and hope that all of our kids will feel comfortable as they're coming together with their current friend group and then collaborating with other kids from across the district to create our 6th grade group for the fall. So we will be talking about the fact that all of our 6th graders will be housed in what we call our Blue House. The school has 3 main areas, and we call those our houses. We have the lower and the upper. So our 6th graders are mainly in what we call our Blue House, upper and lower. They would travel throughout the building to their elective classes. So our 6th graders have the opportunity to take band class, choir class, physical education. We have art classes, we have computers, and we have our STEAM classes, of course. So we are, in addition to having the parents in on Wednesday night, we have our counselor who is dedicated to our 6th grade group, Mr. Steve Levitan, is also going out to the buildings to meet with those 5th graders and go through that course booklet that we have that explains the electives and some of the expectations as they move over into our building. So we want to put faces with names, of course, and the students will be working closely with Mr. Levitan over the next 3 years. So that is one thing that's unique about our school. We have 3 dedicated counselors, and Mr. Levitan is with our 6th grade group for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
And Cindy, you mentioned the different houses that various grade levels are going to be placed in, and that's not dissimilar to how middle schools have traditionally been ran for a number of years, where you kind of keep these different grade groups together. But this is a relatively new idea in the West Bloomfield School District to divide these kids into so-called houses at the middle school level. What's the purpose behind that, beyond, of course, keeping the kids in their grade level together and building those bonds over time?
Yeah, and it really helps the teachers too to collaborate and get to know the group of kids. Let's say I have a student who's a 6th grader, and they are visiting those teachers for their classes in that collaborative space. So when the teachers are able to collaborate and work together to challenge students and to also help them out if they're having some difficulties, it really helps to build that personal bond between the student and the teacher as well.
And you being a K through 8 teacher yourself, you taught first grade, second grade, third grade for over 20 years before becoming the assistant principal at West Bloomfield Middle School. So you have a unique perspective on just how big of a transition it is going from fifth grade, where these kids are the big kids in the school district. They're the ones everyone's looking up to being the small fish in the big pond in the middle school, especially now that we're bringing all 6 of these elementary schools together into one building. Usually that happens for the first time at the high school level. So given that is the case, Cindy, what is your perspective on how to make this transition as smooth as possible for these kids as they jump from a relatively isolated community in their elementary school to a large melting pot from across our 6 elementary schools at the middle school level?
So I think one piece of advice that I like to give parents is just to get your kid involved, have your student really think about their interests, and don't be shy. Keep the conversation going with your child. Make sure that you're checking in on them. And, mental health is such a big concern of ours these days. We're really paying attention to social emotional learning here at the middle school. And just encouraging parents to really help your child to feel confident by encouraging them to step out of their comfort zone a little bit, but also, pay attention to those things that you're interested in. And maybe you're a student who really is interested in photography or chess. We have some after-school clubs that those students could join up with. We also have our middle school athletic program. And for 6th graders, they can run cross-country in the fall. That is a no-cut sport. It's a great place for kids to just go and let off some steam after school. Running is always great for your heart, right? And gives the kids a chance to bond with other kids that have similar interests. Of course, I always like to encourage kids to get involved with robotics. That's a great program that we have in our district from kindergarten all the way up through high school. And so to have the kids stick with those things that you've tried, that you've really enjoyed. What makes you happy and what makes you want to get up in the morning, and just building relationships, right? So trying to allow the kids to have that space to connect. I think that is really important. Of course, they'll have their core subject classes. Every student is enrolled in math, social studies, ELA, and science. And, we like to think that our teachers are the best of the best, right? We have great programming here with academics. We're also encouraging our kids to get involved in all the extracurriculars that we have to offer as well. So.
More information can be found on West Bloomfield Middle School Preview Night by visiting the school district's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. Joining us on the Splash Live today is Cindy Carson, assistant principal at West Bloomfield Middle School. And Cindy, it's so important to get these kids ready for that transition from elementary school to middle school, but it's also a really important time for parents to get themselves prepared for their elementary school kids now being middle school kids, because, let's face it, when they get into that middle school level, they start to enter their teen years, their independence becomes greater, they're learning more in school, and they're getting toward that emerging adulthood. So what resources are available and will be available at this informational night, particularly for parents?
That's a great question. So we are going to have resources available in terms of connecting with the community, in terms of our Greater West Bloomfield Coalition. We will have information regarding community education resources, and of course, everything that we have here at the school to offer. We have a full-time psychologist, we have 2 social workers, we have resources in terms of meeting the needs for our special education population, and we'll cover all of that on Wednesday night.
Again, more information on this can be found on WBSD.org as well as on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. We're joined by Cindy Carson, assistant principal at West Bloomfield Middle School. Their informational night, 6:30 p.m. It kicks off on Wednesday, February 7th at West Bloomfield Middle School. Cindy, on top of being able to get your questions answered about many of these programs, it's also an opportunity for parents and for kids to meet some of the teachers and the other kids. How much of a focus is being put on that at this informational night? I know that for the elementary school's informational night, it was more of a focus on getting getting the parents ready. Is that about the same case here?
Yeah, this is just for parents. Okay. So this, for this evening on Wednesday, February 7th, we are just inviting the parents. We will have opportunities for the kids to come over with their classmates, and we'll have some specialized tours for them. So this information night is focused on parents. We will have some of our student council members here on Wednesday night. After our short presentation, we'll be speaking, the administrators will be speaking from 6:30 to 7, and then from 7 to 7:30, we will offer some guided tours of the building so that parents will have the opportunity to take a closer look at the learning spaces we have.
What more information, again, can be found on wbsd.org or on the school district's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. Cindy, thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a short break, and on the other side, some big news in the greater West Bloomfield area, particularly in West Bloomfield Township. A very important discussion tonight between the West Bloomfield Township Board and West Bloomfield Parks on a potentially massive project happening at the West Bloomfield Town Hall complex. We'll tell you all about that and get some more information on tonight's discussion with West Bloomfield Township Supervisor Steve Kaplan next on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Take a break and tune in to The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join Tyler Kieft as he goes through headlines and events, updating you on the day-to-day happenings in Oakland County. Catch us live weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, and thank you for sticking around with us all throughout your work week. You can find us live and on demand on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The latest news and information from across our 4 communities, a little bit outside in Oakland County, and more, the stuff that you can apply to your day-to-day life or information you may need to know on each edition of the program. And of course, we encourage you to stay stay up to date with us and follow us on our Facebook page where we broadcast live 5 days a week at Civic Center TV 15. Like us and you'll keep us in your feed each and every time you log in to Facebook. And then on YouTube, that's where you can find all of our videos from this week from the Splash Live, other special events in the past couple of weeks, and videos dating all the way back well over a decade, kind of a trip down memory lane. At Civic Center TV on our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well, and you'll always get notifications whenever we go live, post a new video, both on YouTube, in the YouTube app, and of course, in your email associated with your YouTube account at Civic Center TV. It is a big night at West Bloomfield Town Hall. 2 meetings back to back in the boardroom beginning at 5 o'clock with the regular township board meeting at 6 o'clock. Both the work session at 5 o'clock with West Bloomfield Parks and the regular board meeting will be broadcast tonight on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The special work session at 5 is to discuss a potentially massive project at the Recreation Activity Center with West Bloomfield Parks. And joining us on the program to talk about this discussion and the potential project and its impact on West Bloomfield Township from the township government side is their supervisor, Steve Kaplan, on the phone with us. Steve, thank you for being with us.
Good morning. I see a photo of me from long ago.
Yes, Steve.
I don't
of
look
course,
like that anymore.
Yes, an
Good to see you,
experienced
Tyler.
litigator. You're now the supervisor of West Bloomfield Township, and part of that role as a supervisor is having discussions and establishing discussions with other local government organizations like parks and like the library and so on about important projects coming up. And the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission, they are in discussion now about potentially expanding the Recreation Activity Center. At this time, what do you know about this potential for expansion and why Parks is coming to you and the township for discussion on this matter?
Good question by you, Tyler. Under state law, although the Parks Commission is independent and separate from the town board, in the early 1970s, the voters decided to have a separate governing body for the Parks Commission, and that's what we have. So you might wonder, why is township board involved in any of this? Because we are required to approve master plans of the Parks Commission, their annual budget, any vacancy on their board if somebody retires or resigns, for example, and also for bond. And what we have here is for bonding. So let's assume the township board by majority vote voted not to approve the bonding for the expansion of the parks area, then that would be the end of it. I know that township board, including me, we think very highly of the Parks Commission and of the park staff. We have one of the best parks staff that anywhere. But the building is small. It's about 8,400 square feet, and the proposal is to quadruple it to about 33,000 square feet. And the question is, how do you accomplish that? Who pays for it? The surveys conducted by the Parks Commission and some independent agencies showed that the public wants not only an expansion of the Parks Commission building and along with services and activities, but also they want that building to be on our campus. It'll be a one-stop shop, so to speak, for our residents. They can visit the library, town hall, parks, all in one day.
We'll hear from Kelly Heyer on Tuesday's edition of the Splash Live, Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks, on the other side of this discussion happening tonight. And so from the township board's level, Steve, and from your office as the supervisor, kind of being that liaison between the community and the government side in West Bloomfield Township, what are you looking to understand about this potential project from West Bloomfield Parks tonight?
Well, one would be the details. You see the devil's in the details. What is the proposal? What will the additional 25,000 square feet provide? And we do know that there'll be a gymnasium and there'll be multi-purpose rooms to be used by anyone in the community. There'll be classes, there'll be exercising. It'll just be a wonderful opportunity for our residents, not only for seniors, but for non-seniors. Now, the plan goes beyond just the Parks Commission building here on campus. The various parks, so there'll be playgrounds at Bloomer Park and Marshbank Park and Pine Lake. All of those will be expanded or renovated or improved. And that too is what, Tyler, important to the community.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting element that you brought up there, Steve, because we had talked to Kelly Heyer previously a few weeks ago. She actually broke this news with us at the West Bloomfield Chambers Board installation breakfast on our live broadcast, that they would be going to the Township Board about this and potentially going to a bond for funding this project, a potential expansion of the Recreation Activity Center, which would be over 33,000 square feet and really house every parks and recreation event you can possibly think of outside of their parks proper. But as you mentioned, those other proposed improvements to many of the existing parks, and even earlier on mentioning just how favorable the community is to West Bloomfield Parks, how does a plan like this, which is so massive and such a huge undertaking that could take a couple years to really bring to fruition, what does that say about the Parks and Recreation Commission, Kelly Heyer and her team on the day-to-day staff, and their focus on constantly improving our park system in West Bloomfield?
Well, they're public servants, the 7-person board and Kelly and her staff, and they realized that this is what the public wants. As said earlier, all the surveys show that. But this would be a real boon to West Bloomfield. Farmington Hills, for example, has modified Farmington Harrison High School, and the building is now called the Hawk. One advantage it will have if this proposal is approved and the bonding takes place is we'll have all of the activities at one location rather than several locations. So although the Hawk is a magnificent building with wonderful activities, the fact is it's not at 11 Mile and Orchard Lake Road where the Farmington Hills has its offices. I think there's an advantage to that. I might not have mentioned that part of the proposal is for Drake Park, which features 4 pickleball courts, to have an expansion where there'll be 8 pickleball courts. And I think our community relishes pickleball.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help get the pickleball vote out if this does go to a bond issue. And you mentioned earlier on, Steve Kaplan with us, West Bloomfield Township Supervisor on the Splash Live. They'll have a special work session tonight to discuss this potential expansion of the Recreation Activity Center to what would be, in the end, per the Parks and Recreation Commission's goals, a 33,000 square foot building at the Recreation Activity Center, a community center. The Connect Senior Center would be in there. There would be gymnasiums and other amenities as well. And you can watch that full work session, get even more information tonight. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. That special meeting will be live broadcast on our outlets beginning at 5 o'clock, followed by, of course, the West Bloomfield Township Board's meeting. And you mentioned the potential for this expanded facility, really creating a one-stop shop at the town hall complex. So should this go through to the voters, should the voters eventually approve a bond issue and these plans come to fruition in full, just how much of an expansion or a renovation would this be to the overall town hall complex, given the state of the building at town hall, the great West Bloomfield Library, and the recently renovated and expanded police department?
Obviously, I'm biased as an elected official here. I think we have a wonderful community, and I'm glad to help in even a minor way. But I think it'll place us on the map. I think property values will increase. I think we'll be more appealing to families. Because these are the intangibles. You can't place a value on them. But having a world-class library here, we've been in the top 10 since I think 2000. And the programs offered by the Parks Commission are outstanding. Now they're quadrupling the size, and that means that they'll be able to increase the number of programs offered. I should note that at tonight's meeting, as I think you suggested, it's only a study session. We're not taking action. The Parks Commission will appear before the Township Board, Tyler, probably later in February, and at that time, the Township Board either would approve or not approve the idea of bonding. And if we do approve, and I think there's great support, not only in our community, but on the board. If we do approve, then the Parks Commission runs with it, meeting with the bond's lawyer, and the matter would be placed on the ballot in August of 2024. So notice that it's a regular primary date. Some communities will try to slip in a bond or millage issue in May where people aren't voting, but this is during a major election, the 2024 primary.
Yeah, again, as Stephen mentioned, this is just really a very basic first step for the Parks and Recreation Commission and the Township Board. Get that information, just like you and I want to learn watching at home and watching from afar here in the studio. And you can find out all that information during that discussion. Special work session between the West Bloomfield Township Board and West Bloomfield Parks will broadcast live tonight on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM at 5 o'clock. Steve, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Tyler.
Good to talk with you as well. Steve Kaplan, West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, joining us on the phone as he gets ready for a very important work session tonight, followed by, of course, as always, a very important regular Township Board meeting. Both of those will be broadcast on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. They will replay beginning at 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon and, of course, be available on demand on civiccentertv.com. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live all across our network. We'll take a short break, and on the other side, some upcoming programs will provide you information on giving your input to local public transportation through Oakland County, plus an upcoming Veterans Resource Fair, both in and around Oakland County, and one coming up in March that will be right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. What people are watching in Orchard Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for being with us, and I want to give you a reminder, we have a new program each and every day this week. You can find us on civiccentertv.com and on demand as well, and of course, watch us on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube, both live and on demand. Of course, all that information available in one or more clicks on civiccentertv.com. Some big discussions are coming up this week outside of course, the discussion happening tonight at West Bloomfield Town Hall between Parks and the Township Board regarding the potential expansion of the Recreation Activity Center. A massive topic of conversation in any community, especially here in Oakland County, is public transportation. And Oakland County and Smart Bus are holding a few more informational meetings and participatory meetings throughout Oakland County this week to discuss their mobility study and potential improvements that they can make to the Smart Bus system in Oakland County and connecting through southeastern Michigan. The first of those three this week, tonight, 6 o'clock at the Royal Oak Smart Transit Center. Tuesday, another one, 6 o'clock at Redeemer United Methodist Church in Harper Woods. And then Wednesday there will be one at 6 o'clock at Macomb Community College campus, a little bit off the beaten path in Clinton Township. The one that's going to be closest to home here in the greater West Bloomfield area will be on Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. at the Bloomfield Township Public Library. Not West Bloomfield, but Bloomfield Township Public Library, and this is a way for you to have your input heard about the transportation system, ways it could be improved or expanded, or other services that may be necessary in our community. And of course, you can currently take currently register for this and take their Smart Mobility Study by visiting that link you're seeing on this flyer on your screen on civiccentertv.com. Smarter-mobility.org. Smarter-mobility.org. oaklandmobility.org to register for any of these upcoming dates. Oakland County is also holding a number of Veterans Resource Fairs coming up, including next week in Wixom on Wednesday, February 15th at Lion Oaks County Park. Plenty of different information available at these Veteran Resources Fair, including Meyer vouchers available if you have a copy of your DD-214 form, career planning and job assistance through Oakland County, Michigan Works, housing counseling, healthcare counseling, and exams, gun locks, which help to, of course, support suicide prevention in our communities, plus other public transit info from the Smart Bus System and Oakland County. Again, this month's Veterans Resource Fair is in Wixom at Lion Oaks County Park on February 15th from 9 a.m. to noon. But it's also a good time to mark your calendars for March. This Veteran Resource Fair will be in West Bloomfield Township. It will happen at WB Parks Connect on Thursday, March 14th, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That's at the corner of 14 Mile and Farmington in West Bloomfield. More information on these fairs can be found on Oakland County's Facebook page at OakGov and on oakgov.com. Plenty more stories from across our 4 communities all throughout the week. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Stay with us. Our show will continue very soon.